The man had only overslept by 2 minutes, but when he woke up, he saw an emergency announcement on the TV. Before he could figure out what was going on, a terrifying roar sounded outside. When he went out to the balcony to check, what he saw shocked him. A military helicopter roared overhead and directly crashed into the building opposite. Screams could also be heard from downstairs. Nick cautiously looked down and found everyone desperately running for their lives. His girlfriend was also among the crowd, just as he was about to call out to her. The next second, his girlfriend suddenly knocked down an elderly man and began biting him violently. Nick had no idea what was happening. Terrified, he quickly retreated back into his apartment. At that moment, the neighbor rushed in panic, saying his wife had attacked him and begging Nick to let him stay. Before Nick could react, the neighbor covered his head and went into the bathroom to check his injury. Sensing danger, Nick quickly grabbed a small knife for self-defense. At the same time, another emergency news broadcast appeared on the TV. It stated that a zombie virus had broken out in the city and that infected people were turning into bloodthirsty undead. Coincidentally, the neighbor also saw the news report. He desperately tried to explain that he was not infected. The next second, his eyes began to turn bloodshot, clearly a sign of early infection. Fortunately, the neighbor still retained a shred of rationality. Not wanting to get hurt, Nick had no choice but to threaten him to leave. The neighbor, helpless, could only leave. Nick quickly locked the door. Soon after, screams echoed from the hallway. Through the peephole, he saw that the neighbor had already been eaten by zombies. Nick collapsed onto the floor in despair. Listening to the suffocating news broadcast, he was overwhelmed by panic. It was clear that the outside world had completely fallen. Terrified, he could only use alcohol to numb himself. He thought of his parents when he picked up his phone, but there was no answer. Realizing he could only rely on himself, he began preparing his apartment to prevent zombies from entering. He pushed the refrigerator against the door for reinforcement, then moved the bed into the living room and sealed the windows to prevent zombies from noticing him. Even so, knocking could still be heard at the door. Not knowing what was outside, he did not dare make a sound.